Have you ever met someone who knew everything about you, even though you had never seen them before? Now imagine discovering the next day that this person had died 6 years earlier. Most people would call it impossible, but for Daniel it became the strangest night of his entire life, a night he still cannot explain. It all started in 2018. Daniel was the kind of person who never liked staying in one place for too long. He loved traveling alone. He enjoyed discovering hidden places, learning about different cultures, and meeting people whose lives were completely different from his own. During one of his trips to a small coastal city, Daniel met a young woman named Lily. At first, they were just two strangers having a simple conversation, but something about Lily made Daniel feel comfortable around her. They talked for hours that day. Before Daniel left the city, they exchanged contact information. Over the following months, their friendship grew stronger. Their conversations became longer, their messages became more frequent, and slowly their friendship turned into something deeper. Daniel began visiting the city whenever he could. Every time he planned a trip, he would tell Lily in advance so they could spend time together. Then, during one visit, they decided to meet at an old garden near the center of the city. It was a quiet place surrounded by trees and small walking paths. Daniel arrived early. He sat on a wooden bench and waited. At first, he was excited. He imagined their conversation and the moments they would share, but the minutes passed. 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. Lily still didn't appear. Daniel checked his phone. No messages. He called her. The phone rang, but nobody answered. He tried again and again. Still nothing. As the sun started disappearing, the garden became almost empty. Families left. The voices faded. The lights around the paths slowly turned on. Daniel began to feel that something was wrong. He wondered if Lily had forgotten or maybe something had happened to her. Then something unexpected happened. From the far end of the garden a woman appeared. She was wearing a long white dress. She walked slowly toward him. At first Daniel thought she was just another visitor, but then he noticed something strange. She was looking directly at him, as if she already knew exactly who he was. When she reached him, she stopped and asked quietly, "Are you Daniel?" Daniel froze. "Yes, but how do you know my name?" The woman ignored his question. Instead, she looked around and lowered her voice. "You need to leave, Lily." Daniel stared at her. "What are you talking about?" The woman's expression became serious. "She is hiding the truth from you." Daniel felt confused. He had no idea who this woman was. He had never met her before. "Who are you?" he asked. The woman slowly told him her name. Then she said, "Lily knows exactly who I am." Daniel wanted to ask more questions, but before he could, the woman turned around and walked away. He followed her with his eyes. She continued toward the dark path between the trees, and then she disappeared, not walked away, not left the garden. She was simply gone. Daniel remained sitting there, trying to understand what had just happened. Who was she? How did she know his name? And why was she warning him about Lily? Daniel woke up after barely sleeping. The events of the previous night kept replaying in his mind. The woman in white, the warning, the strange way she disappeared. He didn't know what to believe. Was she someone who knew Lily? Was she trying to protect him? Or was there something else happening? Before he could find answers, his phone rang. It was Lily. Daniel answered immediately. She apologized for not showing up. She explained that she had fallen asleep after a long day and didn't notice his calls. Daniel listened quietly, but one question was still bothering him. Who is Olivia? The moment he said that name, everything changed. There was silence on the other side of the phone. A few seconds passed. Then Lily asked in a nervous voice, Daniel, where did you hear that name? He told her everything. He described the woman, her clothes, her words, and the warning she gave him. When he finished, Lily's voice started shaking. Daniel, that's impossible. Why? Because Olivia died 6 years ago. Daniel didn't answer. For a moment he thought Lily was trying to create another excuse. Maybe she was hiding something. Maybe this was all a strange game. But Lily sounded genuinely terrified. She told him to wait. I need to show you something. An hour later, Lily arrived. The fear on her face was impossible to ignore. She didn't look like someone who was lying. She looked like someone who had just heard a ghost story about a person she knew. Without wasting time, they drove outside the city. After a long silence, they reached an old cemetery. Daniel looked at Lily. Why are we here? She didn't answer. She simply walked forward. They passed rows of old graves until she finally stopped. Then she pointed. Daniel slowly walked closer, and when he saw the picture on the gravestone, his entire body froze. The face, the name, everything. It was the same woman, the woman he had met the night before, the woman who stood in front of him, the woman who warned him about Lily, but according to the gravestone, she had been dead for 6 years. Daniel couldn't speak. His mind was searching for an explanation, but nothing made sense. After that day, Daniel decided to leave the city. He needed distance, he needed time. Most importantly, he needed answers. Weeks later, he shared the story with a researcher who studied unexplained events. After listening carefully, the researcher gave him one possible explanation. Maybe Olivia had a sister, someone who looked exactly like her. Maybe Lily knew about her and this was planned to scare you away. At first, Daniel thought it sounded impossible, but compared to the idea that he had spoken to someone who was already dead, it was the most logical explanation he had heard. Still, there was one problem. No one could prove it. No records, no witnesses, no evidence. Years passed. Daniel moved on with his life, but he never forgot that night. The night a stranger knew his name. The night someone warned him about the woman he loved, and the night he discovered that the person standing in front of him was someone who shouldn't have existed. To this day, Daniel still asks himself the same question. Was Olivia really there that night? Was someone trying to protect him? Or was there another explanation that he never discovered? Some mysteries are solved, others remain forever unanswered. And this is one of them,